Welcome back to the Glaze Studios oil painting tutorial. This is Gomati Sivasankaran. We are working on a large canvas painting, Ardhanareeshwarar painting, and we are in class 26, layer 5. Yeah. So the finalizing layer. Let's quickly go over what have we done so far. We started out with this blank canvas a few hours ago or a day ago, technically. And we did layer one, which was a clean wash or a first coat painting. Then we did layer two, which was blocking. Yeah. So between layer one and two, we also did the referencing and then gridding, putting the structure in the place. Then the layer two was done. After layer two, we moved on to layer three, which was starting to give us dimension, and we enhance that dimension even further in our layer 4, giving more depth. What we are trying to do is to building on that depth and enhancing the nuances, even fine tuning to the extent possible, um, in our layer 5. That's what we are working on. In the last two sessions, we focused on the body and skin tones of Shiva and Shakti. I've been looking into it because I always look for spaces to correct or something. To me, it looks kind of okay to move on. Yeah, while we do final touches, there might be stages where I will think of something else, but for now, I think I'm going to move on, and today's session is going to be focused on the animal, the bull, and also the fur that Shiva is wearing. So it's going to be focused on somewhere here. Yes, this is the area that we are going to focus more on today. Hmm? And I'm going to bring this camera to the front right away so that we can jump right in. So with respect to the bull, I feel convinced on the personality and so on. So I would like to give him a slight shine. Remember the way we did Shakti's clothing in the last session. So whatever we had done in layer 4 seemed to be on the right angle. So all I had to do is to just glaze it a bit and build on that lighter darker tonalities to enhance. So I'm thinking of something similar on those grounds here, without damaging too much of what is there, because for me it looks like it is convincing. Slight enhancement to the eye, and also with respect to the eye, we will also be doing a slight bit of eyelashes as well for this animal. So we will do that, and then we will move on to the fur uh, on his clothing here. Yeah. So this is also it seems easy, but it's a kind of monotonous activity to be done to build those natural uh, fur kind of thing there. Yeah. So that's what we will start with today and see how far we go. If we have time, we can move on to other things as well. So let's start focusing on this. And for this, with respect to materials, by now I think you know by heart all the materials that I use most frequently. I'm going to just move this camera closer and bring this closer to me as well. Yeah. So let's focus on the eye first. And for the eye, we have this good old burnt umber and ivory black mixture, isn't it? That's something of a favorite nowadays for us, isn't it? So let's rely on that. And I already have some of it. from the last session, so I'm just gonna try on that. And the zero brush, of course. And I'm just gonna see if I could, enhance the eye a bit more, give it that shine, that strong. It's really on the. Hmm. And we don't want to give too much of eye. What do you call the eyelashes? Sorry, the eyelashes. I just want it to be, slightly showing a bit, so not too much of, eyelash there in both the eyes. So not too much, a slight bit here under eye also. So I haven't done touch, too much in that area. I've just touched it a bit here, enhancing the eye a bit more, strengthening them a bit more. And I will use my micro brush um, to, work on the white area a bit more with titanium white to just refine it as it looks dull, at least in my case. So not too much of work, but little bit of it, and I think this is looking fine for now. And I'm going to go back to using brush number one, I guess. Yes, this is to one right here. Okay, and I will take titanium white, of course. To the titanium white, remember I always say that do not rely on the whole titanium white. It will be bright, but it will not be looking like a natural, animal color. These animals are, often misunderstood as really white. They have a slightly off-white tonality. So I'm adding a bit of burnt umber to the titanium white. So I could show what I'm doing here as well. Let me bring that down. Yes. So, yeah, right here. Yes. So what you see right here is this, slightly off-white because of the addition of the burnt umber there. So slightly off-white, not too much of white. So, and what am I doing? Just as we have seen in the last two sessions, I'm adding a bit more of the oil. So it is getting into a slightly, flowy, not too much flowy, but slightly, consistency. And I'm just checking it on the skin of the animal a little bit. Yes, it is slightly, lighter than what we have in the animal's body. So I think this is the one I wanted. Yeah. So I'm going to go back to the animal as such. Beautiful bull. So let's do this. We know this now by now. So I'm just highlighting the center section where the of the head, center section of the head, a little bit on the ear, one side of the ear. This ear I want it to be, looking behind. So, and a bit on the body, a bit on the neck, bit on the body. So I'm going to blend it in. And for that, yes, I think I will just continue using what I have here with my, with the brush. I'm not going to take more or, anything else. I think I'm just going to rely on this and blend things. So you're still glazing, yeah? Glazing over. So when you have glazed over, you will still see, for example, I'm still able to see the gray shade here. Yeah, I'm able to see that. If you also try to do it on the pink side, you will still be able to see that it is, still showing as light pink if you did it. Yeah, so that's the way. So do not take too much of that white. You're not covering the layers. You're only enhancing the layers, yeah, by just glazing it or adding transparency to it, yeah, and only in the places where you want that shine to happen. So I'm just doing that here around the neck. So I'm not even going and picking up more of the white, whatever I have in the brush. I'm trying to, just survive with that because it seems like, I have enough. At least in my case, I can tell you I have enough in my brush. Mostly when you are blending this color with too much oil, which we have deliberately done in this case, there is a chance that, you have a lot in your brush already and you might not have to go again to the palette. So look at it. I'm not even going again, and I can see that I have finished the head, the ear, the neck. Yeah. So I'm coming down now a bit. Let's do this part. Nicely refined. And I'm going to move the camera shortly for use or, to see the leg portion of this also. Yeah. So I'm making circular movements. Yeah, it looks like I'm scratching up and down, but I'm also making equal circular movements. So it's glazed effectively and it is, looking perfect. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love this now. Hmm. Okay, so now we are on to the animal's feet. I'm taking tiny bit of it because I can see that I will not need much of it. So I'm just taking tiny bit of it and going on in circular motion. Yes. Wow, he looks bright. So this layer is actually fun in a way because you are creating a layer on top of the previous layers, and you want to see what is there in your previous layer still. So this is fun. And I haven't chosen to give any darker highlight because for some reason in other cases you have seen me using the darker highlights also. in this case, I'm not doing it deliberately because, at least in my case, I remember using enough darker shades wherever needed. So I don't see a point in adding them and enhancing again. And another thing is that the grasses that's going to come up in the background, so and that will bring the white to the front always. So I'm not going to worry about the darker shade on this animal now. Yeah. So I'll call it complete with just addition of this lighter shade here. And I will not do this on the heel of the animal. Yeah. It's only for the leg. I haven't worked on the stick here, that we will come back to when this is dry. Right. Circular motion and pushing the color around, the oil around, to be honest here. It's just oil playing around here. Mhm. And I'm going to take a bit of this burnt umber ivory black only on this leg and on here. Not too much. Not too much of it. I'm just slightly giving it here. I don't see the need of using it. There's only a tiny bit of shading needed here. Yeah, I guess we are good with the animal as such right now. So we can move on to this next stage of working on the fur of Shiva's clothing. Moving it slightly here. Okay, so let's do the white part because we already have the nice mixture here. So I'm going to wipe off my zero brush and take titanium white, the one that is mixed for the bull. Yeah, so that's got a bit of burnt umber, very, very lightly added. And I want to give that sort of strokes here. Yeah. So if I don't think you can see much in terms of the white because it's all white, but I'm just giving some more strokes like there is hair or something. So I'm just doing that. And I'm going to quickly add another color here as well. So you will see that, looking slightly different in a short while. Hmm? So I'm going to do the same thing for the fur here below that is white. So yeah, you can see that. So just some strokes with white, and I'm deliberately pulling it here on the leg close to the knee, so it looks like it's not it's not a stitched thing or something. Yeah, it's hairy, it is furry, and I want to give that effect. So right now to this, I think it's important that we add a little bit of burnt umber strokes also. So here on the space, it really gives an angle when we have some strokes made in burnt umber or black or anything else. Yes. So very close to the hip also. I just don't want it to be looking like a perfect, where should be slightly furry here and there. Yeah. So that looks okay. And I'm going to add the same thing for the fur here as well. I've not managed to use this zero brush. So the micro brush, I happy with what I'm doing here with the zero brush. Yeah. So we have some sort of effect here done. So this is the same thing that is needed for the fur here on the body also. So I am going to work on the micro brush, work with the micro brush and take some burnt umber. Maybe mixing it with black is helpful. So I'm going to have this ready. Also add a little bit of oil to that so that it's slightly on the shiny or flowy consistency, but not too much. So I'm taking this darkest tonality in my micro brush, and right now I'm just going to go on making those furry lines. And you don't want it to be looking so perfect also. You want some lines to be long, some to be short, and they could be placed in different, sections, like they are grouped together or they are separate or whatever. So try to give those strokes. And remember, when you're coming close to the bull, so you want those strokes to be visible, like, um, so they're coming in front, like hair. Mm. Be patient with this. Go section by section. So some layering, like this one that we did on Shakti's clothing, was so easy. In the one we did on the bull was so easy because that kind of layering involves less effort. Because yeah, it's just a smoothening of the layer. But this layer here on the fur is to the contrast. You're not aiming at smoothening the layer. You want it to look rough. You want it to look more furry and so on. So you'll have to work towards that. So be very gentle with that and play around with the strokes. I think I need. To clean, sometimes it needs that you are cleaning the micro brush very well and making sure that it is giving you the sharp angle that you want. You could also use a larger brush, but an angular brush, for example, that will give you some nice angles. That's also another way to do it. Maybe I could show you in a short while how to. So I think I'm halfway done with that. Right. Some more strokes to go. When we work on the grass, also we will have to work patiently like this. Mm, right. In a quiet section. Mhm. We are nearly there. Yes. Do you see that difference now? When you have this, bunch of strokes going in, they're giving a new effect now, isn't it? And also remember the strokes that are to come from the fur above. That's white. Yeah. So, and the contours, you don't want it to look perfect. So you want those contours to look the furry way. So, you know, you know what I'm doing? I'm actually scratching with my brush in a way so that it's just giving some rough strokes. Mm. So nearly there. I want to have some ivory black strokes as well. Maybe few larger strokes, not like these thinner strokes. So I might not large, totally large, but larger than the this one's sizes that I made. Yeah. So I'm going to switch to the zero brush and take ivory black only. It's totally black. Just be aware of that. You don't want it to go, haywire in many places. So just do that in some of those sections, giving that highlight, stronger effect. Use that black effectively. Mhm. Um, you could see that I'm using this in this contour area, especially to, yeah, again, the logic still maintains that the sides are slightly darker. So even though we are going haywires with the movement of the brush for the fur, we try to limit that movement also to the areas where you want to see some darkness, and when you want to see some lightness also you could use the titanium white, which we will do also in a short while from now. I'm gonna take this micro brush, use the titanium white that is remaining from the previous things that we did, go over some strokes here. So this is not the pure titanium white, remember, it's a slight mixture of burnt umber, so it doesn't totally white and totally titanium side. Yeah, some strokes here and there, and I think it should be okay. Just doing some compensating strokes also with the black. I guess it looks fine now. Okay. One more thing that is to be done is the conch here. Yeah. So it looks like it's just hanging in the balance without any rope to it. So there's supposed to be a rope to it. And to do that, I'm going to take a bit of yellow ochre in my zero brush and just go around making a kind of yellow ochre dot circle here. So it looks like there is something that is coming from his hip, and that's hanging to that. So I want it to look like that, given that. And one more thing I wanted to do while we are working on the conch is that we already have a very nice blue um, texture to it. I'm going to use that green that we took a light bit in the zero brush and give it one slight tonality here. So it's just giving that angle. Wiping off the excess and just taking out that part. Yeah. So it's also on the bluey green side. Mm. Adding a bit of white, titanium white, to that curve to give the shine, yeah, where the light could fall. Yes. So I think I managed that. Okay. I think this is also taken care of. So we are done with the fur on his body. The other thing that we could do is that We can work on his Rudraksha mala. The mala has a lot of, we use that Mars red, isn't it? When we did this in the last layer, we used masked red, or what we do, we would have mixed burnt umber with vermilion to get this tonality. So we have used a lot of darker tonalities here, so it looks totally on the darker side. We want a slight bit of light falling in some of the beads. Mm. And that can be created using a little bit of vermilion and a bit of white, so it turns pink. So we need to be very careful with that. We don't want it to be turning pink. Maybe you could add burnt umber also, so it's on the lighter side still. um I could, so I'm just using vermilion, a bit of burnt umber and white mix, so it's slightly on the lighter tonality and giving a slight hint of dot only in places where I want to see the highlight. So it's not everywhere. In a circle, I would just give a dot. That's it. So that is giving that 3D effect very lightly, very lightly. So don't fill the color again with this. Huh? And I won't go very close to the place where it is slightly more darker. I wouldn't do that. I'll just stop here. Yes. So I'm going to do the same thing on these dots as well. So it's not even showing much. So I didn't turn it pink. It doesn't, I don't want it to look like a pink dot there. Yeah. So adding that light effect ever so lightly. Yeah. So it's still on the same color range, but it has each bead has a shine to it. Right. So we make a stop with that, and let's see what else we could do before we close this session. I think we have not worked on the Damaru and yeah, Damaru was this little drum here. We did not work on it. We just gave that gold touch. Let's see, is it? In my case, it's dry. And I want to check how it is. So usually the one that is, there should be a ring for you to see this lighter, um, section where you can drum around, and the other part is, on the darker side. So this circle is missing, isn't it? So let's build that, and I'm going to use that light white mixed with burnt umber very lightly, so it isn't totally on the darker side. It is still on the lighter side, but it is. So it's like this, and I'm going to make that nice circle. Ready? So we have one side of the Damaru visible. The angle of the Damaru has to be fixed, and right now I'm going to move back to using a bit of yellow ochre and burnt umber. So not too much of burnt umber, more of yellow ochre, Little bit of burnt umber mixed will just darken the yellow ochre. That's it. So I'm going to take that and make this angle clearly visible. We have painted it, on top of it. This isn't right. I think I made a mistake there. So this is on top of the trident. Yeah. So this is visible on the first front line. This is on top of the trident, and this is the darker side of the tamaru. So I'm just highlighting the darker side of the damaru. We still have the gold seen through, center of this damaru. I'm just making a circle nicely. Now it makes sense that we have. Okay. This looks better. Could we do a little more on the damaru in terms of building the this is the darker portion. So we want to build I want to use a little bit of titanium white to build the center of that damaru with a slight, range of color. That's one there. And there are usually strings coming up. So I'm just adding the white here. So I'm using the remaining titanium white mixed with burnt umber to just go over and give that effect. Yes. Not too much, but very lightly. I want to create that white stroke. Then when we do give another coat of the gold there, then it'll start, popping out nicely. So I guess this is fine for the damaru. And let's look at the trident. Do we need to do anything? Again, a darker shade is needed on the trident, which is missing. So I'm going to work on that as well. Yes. It's the same burnt umber mixed with yellow ochre. And I'm just giving that angle. This is fine. The center. I'm just refining the design a bit. This looks fine now. Yeah, this looks fine now. And I'm going to add a little bit of titanium white to the center. Yes. I'm gonna try using this nice green that is left over in the center as a jewelry. Yeah. So just giving that, leaving it there. And I think when we come back to working on the jewelry, we can refine a little more also. Yeah. Using that green to blend in here a little bit. Just trying to play with it. Yeah. Okay. It's not needed. I'm just trying to play with it here to just give that effect here using the green also. So there is some sort of effect here. Yeah. That's it. I think we are good to move on. Let's see. Let me do a little more highlight here. This looks fine. All right, I guess this is fine enough. Um, we could use the vermilion that we took in the last session to do the clothing also one more round. Just going over it with a bit of oil. So it's again the same level of fluidity and shine that you wanted to show. Yes. And I'm using the burnt umber to go by the sides to just give that effect of cloth folded. Yeah, I guess this is fine. So let's make a stop here. Yeah. So today's session, let's just summarize what we have done in today's session. I'm going to bring the camera to a level where you could see from a distance. Yes. Okay. So let's make a stop with today's session. Today's session, what did we do? We worked on the fifth layer for the bull. It was quite easy because it was just a bit of, enhancing glazing, a little bit on the eye, not too much, but a little bit tiny enhancement. Not a big change. So we did that. And then we worked on the fur uh, clothing that Shiva has. We came up to working on the Rudrakshamala, the beads, giving them the shine, even what I have, you can see that shine that is coming up in front of you. So we just gave that shine there, and then we moved on to fixing the damaro a little bit and also the trident a little bit. So that's all taken care of. So we will make a stop here. In the next session, I think we should start working on the line. It could be a little more detailed because remember last time I said, we couldn't play much with the color tonalities because everything was wet. And I wanted to make few changes also. We will do that to the animal. And then if we manage, then we'll move on to the jewelry also. Yeah. So let's see how far we go with that. So thank you very much for being there, sticking out with patience. Also, remember that you are welcome to share your comments, feedback, queries uh, to support at thegladestudio.dk. Remember to take a picture and also share the picture along if your queries really relate to some detail. It'll help me focus on what exactly you're looking for and try to guide you. And also, if you have specific concerns that the painting is looking totally different from the reference material or what you have here, then I could, also help if you share the picture also with me when you write to me. Yes. Thank you very much for watching and patiently and also trying this out. Stay blessed, stay safe, stay happy, stay motivated to come back to the next class. See you in the next session. Take care. Bye bye.